So in this video, I'm going to be comparing two different infographics, and the topic I chose to talk about was adverse childhood experiences, also known as ACEs. The two infographics I chose were pretty basic. They shared the same things, but the main difference was that the layout was different. The first infographic, as you can see here, is orange and navy, and it just talks about the truth about the ACEs. The ACEs are, like I said, adverse childhood experiences. They're when a child experiences some kind of abuse or neglect or household dysfunction. Down here, it does say how ACEs are relevant or prevalent to a child's life. And then it also talks about how as you have more ACEs in your life, the more risk and later negative health outcomes there are. So a child that has 4 or more ACEs in their lifetime will have more behavior problems or physical and mental health problems. So that was the information that's provided in this infographic. And then it has 2 main sections. So it talks about what ACEs are and how they impact, the impact they have on them. So the second one I did was this one. Let me zoom in on it. Maybe. So this infographic talks about more examples of the abuse. There's emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and then it also talks about the household challenges that a child can experience. It also defines what an ACE is. Like the other one, it didn't define. It's a traumatic event that can have negative and lasting effects on health and well-being of a child. It also talks about how 4 more ACEs, like the last one did, but this one shows that a child is 3 times more likely to have lung disease and adult smoking when they have 4 more ACEs, and that's due to the fact that they are not getting the proper care at home, that they're not being supervised, or they're just experiencing a lot of abuse and neglect at home. And then they're 14 more times likely to commit or attempt suicide. They will be 4 times more depressed than a child who didn't experience an ACE in their life. It says they're 11 times more likely to use intravenous drugs. And you can see the other ones here, that they are likely to begin intercourse by the age of 15, and they have a high chance of liver disease, and that's all because of these adverse childhood experiences. And it talks right here about if they have it, they are more likely to lead to an early death. And 67% of the population has at least one ACE. So, what else it is? Oh, both of these infographics really, I would say, speak to adults or more teachers and family resource people in a school. They can show a family how their behaviors affect their kids in the future, and maybe they will, or maybe the levels of adverse childhood experiences will decrease for this child, for their child. So my main goal of my infographic was to make it less about the numbers and graphs and just more about the straightforward facts, that an adverse childhood experience, which is a stressful or traumatic event, including abuse, household dysfunction, and neglect. And I listed what those were. And then in my definition, I also included if a child experiences one of these or a traumatic event, it leads to a lifelong risk. And then I wanted to also include what the lifelong risks were that a child is more likely to have if they experience an ACE. I did go with a muted background just because I wanted the colors to stand out and the white was too much to handle. So I just did the gray to make it muted and the orange to make it pop. And like, it's like, because it is important that a parent or a social worker knows what these are and like the risk that comes with it. When I was making this, I did more of a, I used more creative and critical thinking, but I don't know which one I used more of. The creative thinking was the arrows, making it like the colors, the boldness of the colors, and my critical thinking was just taking the stuff that I already know about ACEs and the graphs or the infographics I've already seen and making it into my own. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you.